Welcome back, everyone. Who wants to start the show with hearing a Hibs fan going mental? I do.
Oh, there's a goal at Easter Road. Oh, f*** off. No way. Goal St Johnstone. F*** off, Hibs. Ryan Porteous mistake. No surprise, you f***ing arsehole Porteous. F*** you bitch.
Thanks again to SGFC News on Twitter for that little snippet of absolute gold. Welcome back. It's episode 15 of Dogger Saints, an unofficial St Johnstone podcast. We talked to Elliot Parish about cricket, contracts and crew cuts. We have a 3-in-1 feature special. And my favourite, hear Danny's amazing rant about the SFA. All that and a whole lot more. Hello again, it's episode 15 of the Dogger Saints podcast. I'm Sam Miller and I'm joined by always by, well, the man I've managed to have a pint of lager with for the first time since we started all this, and what a bloody treat it was for Dan. It's Danny Williams.
What a buzz, mate. What a thrill it was to go for it and have a pint with you and take some pictures of you carrying a disproportionate amount of pints.
5 pints of lager in one go. And I was steaming as well by this point, so that made the feat even more impressive. Yeah. I did a disappearing act at about 7:30 and I phoned my mum to see if I could get a lift back to Octorada.
Oh yeah, I noticed that.
Did I tell you what happened in the lift home?
You didn't spew in your Moore's car, did you?
Yeah, and outside of it.
Oh, Jesus, man.
I'm not good at drinking anymore.
Poor Sandra having to deal with her 37-year-old son.
I'm an absolute disgrace. So the first thing I'll do is apologise to my mum for being a bit ill in our car. That was a good day out. Nice to see you again, Dan.
It was lovely seeing you, mate. We had a grand old day. The backstory, actually, just for the listeners, you might have seen on social media, on Twitter, the picture I put up of you carrying those 5 pints. The backstory is that you going, Dan, hurry the fuck up and take these photos now.
I was getting a bit slippy by that point. I was talking about, no, did I spill any? I can't even remember.
No, did not spill a drop, pal.
And we've been sponsored again this week, Dan.
Yeah, fantastic. We've been sponsored this week by WeGo Minibus and Coach Hire.
You can go to wego.scot for their full list of services, but if you've got a golf trip, a night out, you've got a wedding coming up and need anything from an 8-seater to a 29-seater, these are the guys. They're based in Perth. Have a look at their site. You can get in touch and you can get them booked up because, as you know, things are opening up now. Away days as well. We've been on a couple of away days with the WeGo boys. But no, they're punctual. They're great value and the seats are super duper comfy. Full leather interior.
He's travelling in style. Absolutely travelling in style. So big thanks to Ross and Terry and all the guys there for sponsoring this episode.
If you've got any gigs coming up in December when things go on, get them booked. Save yourself an awful lot of hassle with planes and trains and cars. Get them booked. They cover all of these things. So go to wego.scot and check them out. So let's go to Saturday. Saints were playing Hibs at Easter Road, a happy stomping ground in seasons gone by. And this happened again.
Kane read that well. And Bryson feeds it through to O'Halloran, who's no slouch. Tried to take on Ryan Porteous too many times though, but that's a dreadful clearance and a big chance for St Johnstone, which they have eaten up. Glenn Middleton, whose lone spell at Easter Road is barely worth remembering, where he is capitalised on that atrocious unforced error from Ryan Porteous to give the League Cup winners the lead in Leith. It is a ground they enjoy. And I mean, that is going to have Jack Ross pulling his hair out.
Another 3 points for the boys in blue.
He's an unstoppable machine at the minute, Sam. Absolutely tremendous. Another great victory. And again, actually, we'll go into this a little bit more, but Hibs had a bit of a bright start, but once we scored, very much in control of the game.
Yeah, stifled them from doing anything really, to be fair. A much changed team as well.
Yeah, and that's a positive. There was a few changes, a little bit of a different system as well. Not too dissimilar to the sort of system we've seen for a lot of this season with the one up top, but say a few changes in personnel, a few guys that maybe haven't played a lot of football, but I mean, we've got hopefully 4 games left. hopefully.
Potentially 4 games.
Potentially. Sorry, I'm going to rephrase that. We've got 3 games left, potentially, hopefully 4. Yeah, they're going to have to use the squad. And I thought the guys that came in, by and large, did very well. I thought O'Halloran was fantastic again.
I think he's just getting the run of games he needs to get his confidence up. We know he's got the ability. We know it's always been there. Give him a deal. Give him a deal.
I'd gladly see him have another year because you're going to have to replace him if he goes. And you know what? He is good enough. We can all say, he might want to go somewhere where he can play regular football. If he finds his top form on a consistent basis, he'll play regular football.
Yeah,
he's that good.
As I read the comments that say, well, you'll be a higher earner, let him go to free up a wage. It's not your money. Fuck him.
Exactly. It's what I always baffles me that when people treat football clubs' finances like their wallet. I mean, obviously we pay into the club and whatnot, and it's absolutely right. But yeah, I just think you don't know what's going to happen if you do free up that wage. So
it could just go to cover debts from fans not being in the ground. It might not be replaced like for like. It might just come out of that budget altogether. Who knows?
Well, exactly. And in reality, obviously, there is a wage structure in place at Saints, and he'll be one of the higher earners. But it's not to say that you're going to get someone of equal quality for that money.
No.
If it is like for like.
I'd like to get Middleton back in on loan next season.
I'd love to sign him permanently, personally, but...
Yeah, but that's all down to finances and Rangers. The cheaper option would be get him on loan for another season. He'd be happy to stay, you'd think. But he was another player that came in. We'll start at the back. We spoke to, as you know, we've got Elliot Parish on this week. We spoke to him on a Thursday. What a guy that he is. You'll look forward to that interview. It's probably been our favourite yet.
Absolute treat for you all.
He's hilarious in some of the stories he comes out with. But we spoke to him on Thursday, and by that point, he didn't know he was going to be playing on Saturday.
No, we didn't. And I think he was probably anticipating that, he'd be on the bench. And I think Xander had a stub toe.
Yeah.
Somehow. It's one of them things, obviously. You don't think stub toe, he's a goalkeeper, but it is going to affect his movement and his kicking. Hopefully it's not, a long-term or a longish term serious thing. I doubt it is. But Alec came in and had a very, very solid game. He was
confident. A couple of great stops. Caught everything that was coming in there. Didn't really do too much wrong. If anything wrong, it was a pretty decent performance. And he's on our list of players that are going to be out of contract next season. We know what's going to happen with him. Keep on listening for the interview. We've got a Dogger Saints exclusive.
This is the first time, possibly the last time, we've got a Dogger Saints exclusive breaking story. There you go. Keep your ears, peeled.
Can you? Yeah, keep your ears
eyes peeled, innit? Just keep on listening. Put up with our nonsense until the point. Anyway, I thought as an all-round goalkeeping performance, he was solid. He was very solid on his crosses. Distribution was good. He made a very good save, actually. I think it was
McGinn, I think.
Would have been first half. I think we'd gone 1-up by that point.
Yeah.
He did make a very good save. I think it was it Boyle who came in on it?
It was, yeah.
Kept him quiet most of the game.
Yeah, I would say so. I was on a Hibs podcast through the week, and I was asked if you could have any Hibs player out of that team to play in yours. I said Martin Boyle every day of the week.
Oh yeah, easy. No question. But yeah, so anyway, moving out, so obviously Elliot came in goal. Rooney was given most of the game off. He came off the bench. James Brown played at right back. Game was fine. Usual back three, Booth at left back. And then into midfield, it was McCann and Craig Bryson. Then Pints, obviously.
Yeah, so there was two deep-lying midfielders, and then they kind of played three up front, two more wingers with O'Halloran and Middleton.
Kano was up front.
Aye. So it was kind of a 5-2-3 formation. So a little tinker around, but nothing too drastic. We don't lose at Easter Road. I think the last time we lost there was 2012, I think, maybe 11-12. But a good 3 points. It brings us back into contention. Same points as Levy. And Porteous made a right arse of that, eh? I don't know. He's still getting heralded to be like a £6 million defender.
If he's a £6 million defender, I reckon I could go for about 2.5. I don't know what I'd make Jason Kerr or Jamie McCart or Liam Gordon, because honestly, lad's obviously a very talented footballer, but things like that, like what happened on Saturday, happen to him all too often.
Yeah.
And he's only a young guy still and all that. And young defenders make mistakes. But yeah, it was a bit of a gift of a goal. Yeah, it's typical Saints, put a bit of pressure on him and force the error, and then he's just played it right to Middleton, who's finished with a plum, I'd say.
We got the 3 points. They spoke to Callum after the game, and he said if we could have got to win a cup, get to the semi-final of another one and finish fifth in the league, you'd have snapped your hand off. Now, I was watching Sports Scene on Saturday night. Actually, I'm telling a lie. I was passed out in my bed on Saturday night. I watched it on Sunday morning, ill in my bed. And they were talking about whether Callum Davidson would be manager of the year. Is he manager of the year as it stands?
Right. It's hard to have an unbiased opinion on this. I think the job he's done on the budget, his first season in management, I can't see past him. Obviously, Steven Gerrard and Rangers have had a fabulous season in the league. Mm-hmm. And to be fair to them as well, in the UEFA Cup or Europa League. So Gerrard will get it. They've won the league and they've not lost a game. I don't think they're going to lose a game. So, in fact, I'd be absolutely flabbergasted if they lost even the last 2 games.
I heard it on Sports Scene. Chris Emo actually said that it's been decided already, unbelievably. They don't even wait till the end of the season. Apparently the votes have been done.
Will have been.
Which makes me think that Steven Gerrard will get it.
Yeah, it'd be Steven Gerrard. But, yeah, they do that early. I remember a thing there. You know, the PFA Player of the Year down south. Mm-hmm. They vote for that in like February.
That's like, if it was done in February here, you'd probably have given it to Martindale.
Yeah.
And look what's happened with that. Absolute shambles. But I don't know if they can rechange the vote. I think the only way Callum Davidson would win it, hypothetically, would be if he won the Scottish Cup as well.
Yeah, but even I think he's been fabulous. So, Callum, you might not win that, but you will certainly win the Dogger Saints Unofficial St. Johnstone Podcast Manager of the Year.
Hotly contested with
Dick Campbell, because Dick Campbell's really funny.
Dick Campbell is very funny. Yeah, I noticed as soon as he chipped in about the ESL stuff, the European Super League stuff, then it stopped hours later.
It's no coincidence.
No. The pulling power of Dick Campbell is not to be messed with.
Big Dick fired in.
Oi, oi.
And the whole thing came to a crashing end.
I think we should get our guest on early. I think we should get it on now.
Get him on.
Get him on. So, we've had guests from the 90s, because, we do like the 90s, Dan.
Oh, we do enjoy the 90s a lot, Sam.
This player was born in 1990. That counts.
That's sickening, by the way. It was when I worked out that he's younger than me.
We had Liam Craig on a few weeks back, and he was talking about Elliot Parish a couple of times about this picture that did the rounds. We asked him about it. We've asked him about his current deal, which runs at the end of the season, his time at Blackpool, and here is the interview in all its glory. Enjoy. So Dan and I would love to welcome to the Dogger Saints Unofficial St. Johnstone Podcast current squad member, Elliot Parish. How you doing, my man? All right?
Hello, Sam. How are you, pal?
Not too bad, my friend. How's it going?
Very good, mate. Very good.
Good. Thanks for joining us.
Nice one, buddy.
Hi, chap. You well?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. So I'm pleased to be on.
What mug's that? That's not a Dogger Saints one.
It's not. I think I'm definitely due one. This is just I don't even know where I got it. Just loads of different goalie tops on it.
Nice. Yeah, well, consider a Dogger Saints mug getting dropped off at McDermott tomorrow for you. We got Liam one, so you'll be due one as well.
I saw your Insta earlier to get Xander on. It's not a bad week to get him on, to be fair, is it?
Not a bad week to get any St. Johnstone goalkeeper on. We've always timed it lucky. We'll touch base with a lot of bits, some of your past. We'll go into the fact that Dan's from Blackpool originally, so you might have a couple of questions. But we'll we might get that out.
I wouldn't have come on if I knew that.
Nothing about that squad or anything like that.
No, you fire away. Those demons, I've left those demons behind me, to be honest.
What the fuck was it like, though?
What a place to start. It was horrendous. And that's probably making it sound nicer than it was. Absolutely horrendous for everyone involved. I mean, God knows what it was like for the supporters of the club.
A couple of my best mates, I'm one of them. I'm from Blackpool, but support Manchester United. Claim some 10 years later because my mum and dad are Reds from Manchester. But few my sort of best mates from back home, big Blackpool fans, and it was just horrible for them, really.
Do you want to fill them in, Dan, with a very quick brief? What happened?
The Oystons were in charge at the own the club at the time, and there was You'll know the story. It was a big divide between the owners and the fans. Just a couple of things that happened. So there was when you turned up, Elliot, there was a squad of 13 players.
Well, I remember the first game against Nottingham Forest away, and I think there was 3 of us on the bench because they didn't have even youth players. They didn't have enough players to even register, and it just started the season the way it continued throughout. The guy who was in charge of all paperwork and admin, he forgot to register half the players, and it's like we were all thinking it's just a start. It can soon change, and unfortunately, that was as good as it got.
Yeah, it didn't get any better. So you were there. You were one of the 2 goalkeepers at the club with Joe Lewis.
That's right. Yeah.
Joe played a game in a signed shirt.
That's right. Yeah.
That was one of them.
I forgot about that, but that is right.
Jose Riga started the season as manager. He nearly walked out in August. His assistant walked out before the season began because he was working without a contract.
That's right.
And as you say, it just got worse. The season culminated. I don't know whether you were playing that day. I imagine you would have been in the squad, Elliot, but there was that pitch invasion very early on in the last game against Huddersfield.
I was playing and I was thinking, please don't come on the pitch. This is about one of the only clean sheets I've got so far this year. It's been 50 minutes in, and I'm thinking, I'll tell you what, it's a shame this isn't the start of the season. 0-0, we're sure. I think I made a couple of saves. This is good. If only we were like this flipping 30 games ago. And then they come on the pitch and take the clean sheet off us.
In addition to that injustice, the pitch invasion was led by a guy in a mobility scooter.
Doing donuts in the middle of the pitch. The stuff that went on that season, I mean, we've got to talk about Saints, but stuff that went on that season, the stories are endless, incredible.
Brilliant. We'll move on to happier times, shall we? We'll skip the whole Dundee section of your career, Saints podcast and all that.
What section?
Exactly.
He knows inside his bread's buttered on.
Exactly right. But you've been part of the squad this season. Top 6, League Cup winners, Scottish Cup semi-finalists. What a season it has been for St Johnstone and yourself.
Incredible. I mean, we discussed it a lot at the club, like how, because we actually had a sticky patch at the start of the season.
Yeah.
We said, I think it was Liam Craig today at training was saying we'd won 4 out of 17 or something like that. And you think where we are now, I mean, hopefully going to go on and do the double. You never know, but...
What was it like? I take it was a bit... Well, we won the Scottish Cup, but was it a bit bittersweet, the fact there was no fans there? Or how did you react? Or was it just you're focused on the game anyway and the crowd, you aren't really focused on the crowd anyway? Or
I mean, I didn't play in the League Cup final, obviously. But as a squad member, you're on the field after, and the initial trophy lift, obviously elation, and everyone is absolutely buzzing. Then you got all the photographers wanting to do it over and over again for their photos and stuff. And like, there's no fans to celebrate with.
Yeah.
And there was that, you had that initial buzz, and then that was it. You try and recreate in the changing room, but it was just nowhere. Such a shame it's this season, if you could be so picky, which you can't.
No.
But the feeling with fans in the grounds, even like that the other night, I mean, I'm watching Big Z go up there and nod one in. I'm saying this is going anyway. Kano took it off him. Because it was definitely going in, all right?
Well, definitely.
It was definitely not going wide. That was going in.
We'll touch on that at a later date.
But it's such a shame there's no fans. And for the fans, of course. Like, it's incredible what's going on right now.
Yeah.
And you never know what could be the same, what could be on the schedule next season.
Well, fingers crossed we can get in. But yeah, it's weird that in this season, for some reason, Saints don't seem to get an awful lot of luck in the past, where I think it was 14 years ago, we got pipped in the first division in the last day, in the last minute, by another team scoring. But this season, we had Glenn Middleton scoring in the last minute to get us in the top 6. We've had Liam Craig getting a point against Rangers with a last minute goal. The nonsense and chaos which happened midweek, it's just a shame that we couldn't have been there. What a couple of cracking days. They would have been the Hibs semi-final as well, another one. It's unbelievable.
Again, like you said, the Hibs 3-0. Imagine the supporters that day. When, I mean, we're sitting there watching, and 10 minutes to go, I can't even relax. I'm thinking, any of us, any other team, you think 3-0 up, we've done it, no problem. But even a minute to go, I'm thinking, come on, boys, let's see it out now. But the support, it would have been immense for the fans to be some of these games this year. And you can't. I mean, I watch some of the English stuff, a lot of Chelsea, and watching it now, it's just dross. It doesn't matter who's on the pitch. It's just awful without fans there.
I was having this conversation at work today. I said, I have not watched any Champions League football this season. I've just lost the kind of interest. I watched Scottish football, all of it, because I've got a vested interest, but I've kind of lost a passion for like Champions League and Europa League stuff, unless we make it next season. But the four of us, you, Xander, Ross Sinclair and Jack Wells, what are they like as youngsters? Are they good young players? Are they decent prospects?
They are decent prospects. I mean, it's no coincidence. You've got Paul Mavers at the helm, the goalie coach, who is exceptional, to be honest. Yeah. He's an exceptional coach, and he's obviously brought Xander through. Mm-hmm. Xander's doing well, and obviously you see what he's like the other night. You've got Jack, so Jack's the younger one. It's been tough for him this year because there's no reserve team football, no games for him. Mm-hmm. But from the start of the season compared to where he is now, there's been a big jump. So he's going in the right direction. Ross Sinclair has had a couple of wrist injuries, so he's sort of stagnated a little bit with that, but hopefully he can come back strong next year. Good prospects. Yeah, definitely.
Let's touch on midweek. Now, you're on the bench and you see Xander Clark running up in the last minute. Are you thinking, oh, don't do it? Or are you like, how can up you get, son? Up you go.
I'm the opposite, you see. We've had there's been a couple of games this year, and I think there was a couple last year, where I'm thinking, Xander, go up. Yeah. And we've had this discussion loads. He'll tell you yourself when he comes on. He's looking across at the bench. Shall I, shan't I, shall I ask? Shall I go? And I said to him, if you ask, it's too late. Yeah. Just go. Just get yourself up there and give yourself an opportunity to make an impact. And I'm not, by the way, claiming anything for what happened Wednesday night, because it's nothing to do with me.
I told him to go up.
Yeah, I told him, I said, stand on the six and just nod it in, and he came over there, great. Absolutely said none of that. But he's always been one where he's looking across. If you look, you don't go up. If you ask permission, you don't go up. Mm-hmm. And this is for once, which is amazing. He didn't look once. He just thought, bosh, I'm gone. I'm scoring a goal. And then I'm going to go and save a couple of penalties as well. So, magic.
A decent performance off him. Did you ever go up for corners?
I've been up for a few, yeah.
You scored?
I've had the only, it wasn't even success. I played in the Under-20 World Cup years and years ago now, and I smashed one over the bar from 6 yards. So thank goodness it was Xander on the pitch and not me.
He's claiming it though, isn't he? It was going in.
He's going in. I think the wind would have brought it back.
I would have thought so.
Jamie Glass never asked for permission to go up. Look at him.
That was Carlisle, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that is a famous goal.
That was bedlam.
But he is, obviously, came up, saved a couple of penalties. Were you practicing penalties as a team during the week?
I don't think we were. I think people, we do shooting practice most days. People sometimes ask to take the odd penalty, but nothing. Like Jason Kerr, he's walking up there, and I'm thinking, I generally don't know how Jason Kerr takes penalties.
I'll tell you how he does it now. Foot down.
Apparently.
We discussed it then. How's he kept it on target?
The power behind it was ridiculous.
I mean, if you walk up to a football and kick it as hard as you can, like that, and it was top bin, it's in off the bar there, it's top bin, we'll go with that. Sounds better in a few years. I smashed it in off the bar, lovely.
But even if McGregor got a hand to that, he wasn't keeping it out. There was no danger. He'd have gone with the ball.
All of the penalties, though.
Yeah.
Again, you guys will be the same watching that. How did we feel? It's harder. I think it must be harder watching because I was a mess on the side trying to watch that.
Oh, it was horrendous. We recorded last week's podcast, or this week's, I should say, 20 minutes after that cup final, because it comes out on the Monday, so we're like, well, the game came out saying it was going to be on a Sunday night. We're like, oh, it's going to be a late one, and then went to extra time. We're like, oh, right, we'll hang on. And then it was penalties, and by the time we're gibbering wrecks for the first 20 minutes of the podcast, we just couldn't stop giggling. It was, I've never seen anything like it. Never seen anything like it.
We were the same. We were still giggling this morning about it. And then you've got Twitter, one of the actual good sides of it. Everyone's banner, all the gifs and whatnot. Xander, incredible.
Yeah,
So funny.
he's done himself no harm anyway this week. But it's a good as you touched on there, the good team spirit with you lot. We spoke to Liam Craig about this quite a lot. Obviously, you can't do all the regular stuff like nights out and stuff you would normally do. So you've kind of got a couple of WhatsApp groups. You all watch the NFL and things like that. But obviously, it's off season at the moment. How many's in the group chat?
I think we're in the actual NFL league, which is now massive. I mean, if you lose a game, you come in on the Monday, you're getting dogs abused. So I think it's 8 or 10. I think 8 or 10 that take part. But it's year one of us actually trying it. I've done it for a few years with my mates, and boys love it. We're all on about going down there next year.
Yes.
To see if we can play a game and go and watch the Saturday, Sunday. I think it's on a Sunday when it comes to England. And go and watch a game. So there's a good golf contingent there as well at the club. So there's real good ways of socialising outside of the club as well. There's a real good nucleus of boys there. In
terms of the golf, who thinks they're a player but is absolutely bollocks?
Good question there. Good question. I think Gingy's a little bit like that. Like, he always turns up. He looks the part.
Got all the gear.
He wears shorts. He wears shorts every time he plays, and I'm yet to see that yet. Spoonie could be good. I don't think his missus ever lets him out, so he very rarely plays. I mean, the gaffer is unreal. And, I hate to say it. We played the other day at Glen Eagles. He shot -1.
But he was a scratch golfer, eh? He was scratch at like 17 years old or something. He could have chosen between football, golf, tennis. He was ridiculous at everything.
And he is one of them. I think he likes cricket as well, because the boys love their cricket now. So, as you boys...
look at the big smile on Dan's face. This is what he wanted. This is all the podcast was about, setting this up so Dan could arrange a chat about cricket with you.
So it's mad because I'm trying to get the boys down to Lords. So I'm in the MCC, so we get to go down there. So I'm trying to set up some sort of trip down there in the summer. So there's a couple of boys are thinking about it, but they're not huge on cricket, I must admit. They prefer just having a little knock in the gym.
Did you win the World Cup stuff last year, Dan? Did you not? 2 years ago now, I should say. When I say last year, I mean 2019, because last year I was a bit of a non-event.
2020 didn't count as anything, but that was brilliant. I was just in my element for a week.
What games do you go to?
I went down to England, Afghanistan. I did and then I went, so that was in Manchester. That was Old Trafford. Then I went down to Edgbaston the day after. That was in New Zealand, South Africa. That was an absolute...
That's lively. Edgbaston's lively as well, isn't it?
Edgbaston's great.
Yeah.
And then I was at Australia, Bangladesh, at Trent Bridge the day after. Just unfortunately, Australia won. But
so where do you play? Do you play up here?
I play in Dundee, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, captain of a team up in Dundee. Because I used to live in Dundee. That's where I went to uni.
Yeah.
And then ended up in Perth when I got too old for the student lifestyle. So and I had to get a job.
Where are you based, Elliot? Where'd you stay?
I'm just outside St Andrews at the moment.
Oh, okay.
I've been there pretty much since I moved up from England, and that sort of suits me because I absolutely love me golf.
Yeah.
So you're sort of spoiled for choice there, aren't you?
What team did you play for, Dan? Norwood, did you say?
Norwood.
There we go.
You played for Norwood?
Yeah.
Was that Blackpool way?
No. In fact, there's no cross near Blackpool or in Blackpool. I was a junior there many moons ago, but Norwood's a team up in Dundee. I play for. Well, actually, club captain there. Not that I tend to bring it up. So if you can
get us a game, you should get a few of the boys for a game.
We can get if you want a game, mate.
I'd be all over a game in the summer there.
Top man.
I've not played properly for a couple of years now, but I'd be all over a game.
There we go.
Magic on that.
Definitely. Well, you've nicked one of our questions. Can you open the batting, and what are you doing Sundays this summer?
Well, I'm opening the batting for Norwood by the sound of it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Oh, yeah, I'll give you a shout.
I'd love a game of cricket. I'll have to let the gaffer know.
And welcome to Cricket Chat with Danny and Elliot.
Years ago, so I had another really good time in my life. I was at Accrington for a bit.
Yeah.
And I remember a pre-season, and we played against the chairman's local side, Reed Cricket Club. We were, I think, quite a big club down there. And it was on the Friday night, barbecues 2020, and we finished, it must have finished at like 11 o'clock, pitch black. Everyone was pissed up and things like that. And we had a pre-season game on a Saturday morning at 11 o'clock or something. And you can imagine how that went after that.
Did he ever turn up Bumble when you were at Accrington?
he came to we had a couple of decent cup runs. He came to a couple of them. England were away on tour. I think it was away a lot then. Yeah. So we didn't see a lot of him. So I was with my daughter just trying to get involved. What's up? You can say hello and then you got to go.
Hello. Hi.
Yeah, can you just go to mummy? Sorry, Jen.
No, you're fine.
Get the ball-headed kid out, Sam. He's always good for a laugh.
Who's my two?
Who's that? It's just some friends. Can you just go out? Thank you. Sorry about that, Jen.
No, you're absolutely fine. My two usually tend to pop their heads in at some point. You'll just see a random head just sticking their face in. But it's time I just throw them an iPad and then just tell them to catch later. Parenting done correctly. There's an iPad. Yes,
I'm very similar to that. Very similar.
we brought up William Craig. Now, there was the mystery of the children's drawing competition before the Scottish League Cup final.
Yes, I know about this.
Yes, you will do. And we were looking through the entrants on Twitter because they posted them up. Stevie May, Spoonie. There's one of Elliot Parish. And we're like, that's quite well drawn for a small child. And they've kind of gone a bit off piece with the beak on it, certainly. What was the story behind that? Did you know about it, or what was the story?
I actually think the nose on that is actually smaller than my actual nose. So I was actually glad he toned it down a little bit.
Done you a favour.
Yeah, this was a friend of mine from a coaching course years ago, and he follows wherever I am a little bit and likes to keep up to date and things like that. And he just thought he'll enter a competition. He's 45 years old, the lad. And I saw the picture, I think the day before it was coming out. And he scribbled his name out to try and be inconspicuous. And I'm thinking, why would you do that? I can see just one little cross through it. Anyway, he's a 45-year-old man, and he's obviously a really, really good drawer.
He's all right, yeah, he's good.
As long as he didn't win the prize and took it off all them kids.
Oh, he must have been in the. I don't think he won, but he was in the reckoning for it because I voted for it, certainly.
Yeah, it was. I must admit, it was a good drawing.
You should get it. Get it off the club. Get it framed.
I should get it framed, really, shouldn't it?
That's nice.
I'll put it in the shoe cupboard.
That'll do with it. What have you done with your League Cup final top? Have you got it? And the medal? Where'd you keep your medal?
I've still got it. I'm gonna. A lot of boys have got theirs framed and stuff already. I'm just gonna wait until we win the Scottish Cup and get them both done together.
That's the one.
That's it.
That's the one. Couple more points. Couple of things coming about players with new deals. Callum Booth, Stevie May, new deals. And I'm looking through the list of players yet to get one. What's happening with you, Elliot?
Well, this is another good one because the boys have been on me massively. Craig Bryce in particular, who you should get on because he's a bit of a character, but he is the smallest man in the world. But I signed mine. I think I signed mine about a month ago now.
Okay, good.
Bryce goes, "Why haven't they announced yours out?" And I'm thinking, well, why would they? I'm sort of number 2 goalkeeper and golf coordinator, so it's one of them. But no, I was happy enough to sign a month ago, so that's all sorted, which is great news.
Brilliant, and that is our first ever Dogger Saints exclusive. So we are delighted with that news, and we'll make sure we'll get you sponsored again next season. We'll try and get the home top this year, so we get both the home and away.
Nice, wouldn't it?
Come down there. If you want to know about the Dogger, speak to Murray Davidson. He's a regular in there.
There's a shot.
There's
a shot.
I remember he walked in one Friday. He wasn't playing because he was injured. There's another shock, and half the board were standing at the bar, and they're just kind of looking at him. He was like, "Hiya," oops, but not to worry.
He wouldn't give him monkeys.
No.
He's another good golfer, actually, Mars. Very good golfer.
Bryson, here's a man. Speaking of Craig Bryson, he's a man with the fingers in a lot of pies. I'm setting up a personal business, fitness thing. I'm going to be an estate agent. What is there anything he's not doing at the moment?
Well, the only thing he's not doing is playing football, I think. we have a good little running joke actually there. I mean, he calls me the pregnancy because I play once every 9 months, and he's called the maxi pad once every 28 days. But he's a magic guy. What a bonus it's been for him to be here this season. Hopefully, you never know. Hopefully, he signs another deal because he's been magic this year.
Yeah, he has.
He never lets the side down. He always plays well. Runs everywhere, even though he's got half an ankle. But he's been magic for us this year, on and off.
Stephen McLean, assistant manager. As a player, he was the angriest man in football, and I wouldn't say he was dirty, but he was gritty and tough. What's he like as a coach? Can he still play? Is he still a decent?
at the start of the season, he was joining in. I just figured out, at the start of the season, he was joining in a fair bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we all know him. We've played with and against him. He could still have played this season, but it's a case of which coaches do all the time. Player coaches like Scott Brown, for example, next year. There's a fine line between player coach and no, I need to sack this off and concentrate on my coaching. And that's what Macca's done, and it's the right decision. So, but he's a good coach.
Yeah,
he's fantastic with the strikers. So
good.
No, good, real good.
What is it about this group of players? What is it? Why are we where we are? And like other chairmen are throwing millions of pounds at their teams, and St Johnstone, modest budget and very small group of players, but they're producing the goods.
I mean,
what's the secret?
Is amazing. I don't think there's one or two boys that don't get on very well in the whole dressing room. I think the way it's been brought together, probably over a few years now, it's not just overnight, is it?
No.
I mean, you've still got the 45-year-old in Liam Craig playing as well as he is. I think he ran 14K or something the other night he done.
Guy's a machine,
I don't think he's done that all season. The way he keeps going, I mean, the mixture of young and old. I mean, you've got Bryson, Liam Craig Conway's another one, who obviously set up the header in the cup final. Stevie May coming back, Spoonie. There's just a great mix of the old blend there. And then you've got people like Ali McCann, Jace, Jamie McCart, and then the Fruit Loop of Sean Rooney.
How mental is he?
Yeah, he's out there. right out there.
Because Callum Davison isn't. He's got a calm demeanour, really chilled out. I've seen all his interviews. He doesn't get phased or anything. The most excited I ever seen him was at Ibrox where he did a fist pump and I was like, oofed. Sounded like he'd maybe had 2 or 3 beers. That was the most animated I've ever seen him. And then you've got Sean Rooney, who just looks like he couldn't be controlled or tamed. Yeah.
He's a lunatic. But he's what a chap he is. And I'm sure in years to come he'll be worth a few quid as well.
I bet, yeah. There's we'll be very lucky to keep the team together for next season, but fingers crossed that's the case. Dan?
It was just a contrast, because obviously Sean's come into the side sort of halfway through the season because Danny was there, and so Danny Mark, he was such a lovely lad and all very properly presented and whatnot, and then he's gone back to Millwall, and this guy that just looks unhinged is coming.
He comes in half the time in a flipping Arsenal shirt. Why are you wearing an Arsenal shirt?
Well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm surprised it's not a Celtic shirt, to be fair.
Yeah, I am as well. I've heard he's a big Celtic fan. You wouldn't know that, would you?
No, you wouldn't. Looking at his social media post, but we wouldn't touch on that.
Hides it well.
Yeah. Speaking of hiding things well touched on that. And this is one of my final points. Chris Kane covered up his bald spot for a while with his hair. He's had a bit of a makeover. What's the boys thinking about that?
Well, I'm glad you asked me this. I'm really glad you asked me. We've been on to him all year. We said, look, you're not a bad looking lad. Head's not too bad. You've got a bit of stubble. Now's the time. You've been hanging on for a few years now, but this is probably since I've been here. You've been hanging on for dear life, let's be honest. Yep. Says me, with the wing back to him. And we've all been on him saying, look, you've got to let it go. Get rid of it, you look $1 million. Or $10, whatever. But so Mazo goes, this was last week, Mazo comes in and goes, right, I'll do it if you do it. And we're like, nah, Mazo, you can't do it. You've been growing that for 20 years.
Exactly.
In fact, I don't think you've ever had a haircut. So Mazo's going, no, I'll be the bigger man. I'm going to get it done. I'll go first. Not a problem. Kane was like, right, fair enough. We'll do it. So we're on the group chat. Sean, bring your clippers in. We're getting your hair done. Anyway, he comes in, got the clippers, all good to go. And Mazo is absolutely folded. Completely. I've never seen someone melt so much in my life. It was incredible. Absolutely gone. All the boys like, just get it done. I mean, you've said it, you've given it. I've never seen someone give it as big as that either.
He shit the bed.
Oh my, shit the bed. Completely and utterly shit the bed. So that was a shame. But Kano, fair play to him, got his done, and he does look better. The first couple of days, it was a big Stuart Singh tan line, and it looked a bit naughty, but that's catching up with him now. So
that's a couple outdoor training. The only reason we asked to look at Dan's face, he's raging. We've been saying this to Dan for a little while, and he's still not taking the hint.
A little while? I've known you about 5 years now, and I've heard it.
Just shave it off
every day.
There's actually a lot of resemblance with Kano there in these two.
See, there you go. And Kane, even my wife was at him. Just like take hint. We did a poll. Does Kane look better with the side sweep or the skinhead? And it was 86% said he looks better now with the skinhead.
And then made me read it out.
I'm worried about the 14%.
That was Dan voting on multiple different computers to get the numbers up.
Just leave the sides, you'll be fine.
Yeah. I won't have a choice in the matter soon enough.
No.
Also, it'll be fine, mate.
Mother
Mother
Nature will make that decision for you. But
well, then get into Mazo, so you'll do it if Mazo does it.
I'll do it if you do it, Dan.
Yours will grow back though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm a hairy bastard. Sorry, we'll move on, Dan. we'll move on. We'll save your blushes. He's gonna have a wee cry to himself. Scottish Cup got St Mirren, which for the first time ever when I seen the draw and I was looking through social media, a lot of the other teams they just wanted to avoid Saints, which is nigh on never the case. Usually goes, we'll take Saints and we'll beat them. But I think teams are now kind of clicking on that we're not an easy team to break down or beat. Got to fancy your chances to win the thing, go the way.
I mean, you beat what was arguably the best team in the comp. Of course we do. Of course we fancy ourselves. You can't get ahead of yourself. Of course you can't. You still got to deliver on the day, which we've done a lot this season now, especially the back half. So we certainly fancy ourselves, yeah.
Well, fingers crossed you do. It's a shame we can't go to Surrey, Dan.
Yeah, you've just touched upon it there, Sam. And I need to ask you, Elliot, because I've been sort of saying this is bollocks, but I want confirmation from a player that this is bollocks. Someone from the SFA, because obviously talking about playing it behind closed doors, when there might be an option to play it somewhere that isn't Hampden with some fans there. And a source from the SFA said, well, the players will want the day at Hampden anyway, even if it's behind closed doors.
What, over having fans there?
Over playing, I don't know, Celtic Park or Tynecastle or somewhere with fans.
Oh, they're just trying to cover their back, aren't they?
So you would rather have it anywhere if there was fans there?
Oh, 100%. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, that's what we thought.
That is what we thought. Glad to have that on record.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. From where I'm sat, just get the fans back immediately. Obviously, make it safe as possible and all of the protocols allowing, but just get the fans back.
Good. Well, long may the success continue. And Elliot, it's been an absolute pleasure having it on. What a fucking laugh this has been.
Yeah, it's brilliant, mate.
I look forward to the Dog of Saints mug and a pint, and I can actually fill you in on all the actual Blackpool stories because carnage is the understatement of the century.
I bet it is.
Absolute, utter carnage.
When the Norwood fixture list's out.
Yeah, you have to because Ginge, I'd love to see Ginge with some pads on and see what he makes of it with one of those little rocks coming at him.
Who's the cricketers in the team?
Well, I must admit, Xander, he bowled a few at us the other day, and I don't know what it was, but he was bowling fast, and there were leg breaks. And I'm thinking, how have you done that? And no one could hit it. So maybe he's your one.
He won't know how he's done it, but as long as he can sort of still do it.
He doesn't. Well, he puts it there and thereabouts every time, so he could be one. So after the week he's had as well, I've asked him for 6 numbers for Friday. So
what was he like at training this week? Was he walking around with a bit of a swagger?
He's a very humble guy, I must admit. But he was tipping a few balls into the strikers today. I'm thinking, you don't normally do that. So, yeah, there's a bit of confidence about him, and rightly so as well. He said he went up for the corner, obviously, and he goes to Liam Gordon. He goes, this is how calm he was. He goes, Gordy, what corner are we doing? Because obviously you've got different corners you want to do.
Yeah.
Gordy, what corner are we doing? Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Stand up. All right.
The one where he can stand with no player around him within about 4 yards in the middle of the 6-yard box. Unbelievably.
That's it. And I'll just nod that one in. There you go.
Brilliant. And on that note, well, thank you. And hopefully we'll see you. And we'll see you next season. We'll be back.
Absolutely.
And good luck. Thanks again, Elliot, for coming on. Thanks, buddy.
Pleasure.
Cheers, mate. Really enjoyed that.
He's brilliant, eh?
He's absolutely tremendous. I was just giggling for about the entire sort of time we're talking to him.
And it's amazing because we really genuinely don't know what we're going to get from a guest. We don't know if they're going to be a bit more reserved. We don't know if they're going to be absolutely off their nut. We just don't know, and we were absolutely delighted with the way that interview turned out with Elliot Parish. What a guy. And a Dogger Saints exclusive. He's sending you a 1-year deal. Oi, oi,
New
oi.
deal.
So yeah, he signed a 1 year deal. We don't know whether he'll start again St Mirren. Depends whether Xander comes back, but he's definitely worth keeping.
You got to look at it in the sort of round here, because there's bound to be every club's got to have a couple of goalkeepers, and unfortunately with goalkeepers, only one can play. It's not like you can slip in. In fact, I reckon Elliot could, if he wanted to, he could turn up on the wing or something like that. Let him do it. Or Xander could go up front. Anyway.
It's been a good week for you, Dan. Yeah. We've got a keeper signed up on a new contract, and you've got a new opening batsman for your cricket team.
I've got a new opening batsman, which is good because it means I no longer have to open the batting.
Nice.
But this was my ploy all along. But no, like I say, you got to look at it in the round. And so you want good players, and as Elliot showed on Saturday, he can come in and do a very, very good job when called upon. But you need good characters like that to fit into the dressing room. That's what helps make a successful side. They seem to just be having a bit of a laugh and then turning out and playing football. It was a point that he made saying, second choice goalkeeper and golf convener. He said it as a joke, but having someone in the dressing room who's going to sort out the rounds of golf and all that, and get a cricket set down or whatever, it's invaluable.
What we've gathered over the piece is that they're a collective group of boys. There's no outsiders. They're all in it together. They play for each other. And that's what you need with the team. So well done to Elliot for coming on. But in the news this week, or in the last couple of weeks, there's been a couple of contracts signed so far. Callum Booth is signed up for another year. Decent.
Great signing.
It'd make me think that maybe Tanser will be away now. He's played his last game for St Johnstone. We never actually touched on that last week. His honking looking injury against Rangers midweek. It was nasty.
He's come onto it. It was a shame because he really come onto a game.
Yeah.
Last few weeks, Scott Tanser, since he got back in the side, and you need a couple of good players in each position. But I'll admit, when you are working with the resources Saints are, it is difficult. And even Tanser slightly different, but both I like both of them, to be honest with you. So it's very good that we've got at least one of them signed up. Hopefully, maybe there's a little bit of a chance the other will put pen to paper, but.
It depends how bad the ankle injury is. I went up to McDermott to drop off Elliot Parish's mug, and Tanser's car was in the car park. So
was it?
His ankle can't be that bad.
Parish in that mug.
Honest to God, that's all he's gone on about.
He'll be delighted with it, though. I hope he is anyway.
Another mug for Coffee Club.
Another mug for the Coffee Club. Well, we are going to be official mug suppliers of the St Johnstone Coffee Club.
Well, we messaged Elliot Parish after the game on Saturday congratulating him, and he said all the other players want mugs now. Oh,
yeah. They're all after it. They've all seen the light and the good word of the dogger.
They have indeed.
But, yeah, he's... that's the other point about Parish, not to go on about him. What a nice lad. We say it every week, and we didn't say it this week.
Oh, yeah. He is a nice lad.
Do you know what I mean? He's a brilliant lad. But, so anyway, back to the contract discussion, who will be getting a mug next season.
Yeah, the simple rule of thumb is if you want a mug, the only two Saints players I have one is Liam Craig and Elliot Parish. It's simple science. If you want a mug, come and have a chat to the boys.
You pay the piper, we call a tune. Get there. Anyway. So we've got to get back onto the contract chat.
Now let's talk about mugs. No, Stevie May. Stevie May.
He
wanted the mug.
Oh, yeah, he'll be after a mug. Yeah, we'll get him. He knows what to do now. The rules are there, Mazo.
They are indeed. But he signed a 2-year deal. That's a great bit of business.
I think that's a tremendous bit of business. You need a big squad, and you need guys that know what they're doing. And Stevie's form last few months has been very, very good. And
I would rather have Stevie May in the team than not have Stevie May in the team.
Exactly. What's it? We know there's going to be more to come. Don't forget, he had a horrendous time of it with injuries. I mean, what we'd used to call career enders. Obviously, they're not now, thanks to the advancements in sports science and whatnot. So he'll be I think it's a great signing.
I think
Terrific
so.
Signing.
Yep, and well, the one thing we do know about Stevie May is he's a shitebag. He will not cut his hair.
Oh, he is a shitebag. I mean, he was never going to was. Those flowing locks.
That salon quality hair that he sports.
He's been he's had it all along. You can't just part with it like that.
It looks like a young Owen Hart.
Stunning.
like a
young Burt Reynolds. Anyway.
There's our Phoenix Nights references. Oh, no, it was Max and Paddy. Close enough.
That was Max and Paddy. But we've got, there's a couple, as we sort of touched upon, there's a couple of outstanding contracts.
I believe they're all the same agent.
Sorry?
I believe they're all the same agent. I believe it's Melamed and Kane.
Tanzer and Kane.
They've all got the same agent. So
look, you don't know, do you? You don't know what's going on. I'd just urge all of them to think carefully because you got a good thing going at Saints, and look, I mean, ultimately with anything, any jobs market or whatever, you look out for number one, and the three guys that have contributed massively. So whichever way they go, they stay or whether they look for opportunities elsewhere, good luck to them.
Aye, can't argue with that. But money talks, but they're not going to be more successful at other clubs. Money talks.
But they don't sing and dance and they don't walk.
No, what song were you singing?
As long as sorry.
What song was that?
It's Forever in Blue Jeans.
I was singing Dizzy Rascal.
Ah, shit.
We were not on the same page.
We were not on the same page there, son.
Right, we have talked for about an hour about St. Johnstone stuff, Dan.
We jibber-jabbered.
We did indeed. Are you ready to go off-piste a little bit?
I'm always ready to go off-piste, son.
So I think it's time for Giorgio Boyle and the Royal.
Rabbit, rabbit, rabbit.
Oh, that's the wrong button. The fuck was that? Hold on.
Rabbit, 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 rabbit. You got a beautiful chin.
I enjoyed that.
It was. Everyone likes Chaz and Dave, but again, I pressed the wrong button. Sorry.
Have you got Ain't No Please in you?
I don't know.
I'll get that on next week. We'll have a right good Cockney knees up.
Big break theme tune, that'd be good.
It wasn't Chaz and Dave.
Yes, it was.
Was it?
It's only a game, so put up a real good fight. I thought that was Chaz and Dave. We'll check it out for next week. Somebody will let us know. Giorgio Boyle and the Royal. We're back. It's still shut in real life though, isn't it? Which is a shame.
You missed all this on Saturday. I stood outside the Royal basically just like looking longingly in. When me and a few others, you were spewing in your mum's car by that point.
Thanks
but we were, a few of us went into town to try and get in somewhere. For some reason, we thought on the first weekend of pubs being open, we'd be able to just walk in somewhere. We couldn't. But I kept thinking, a good time to go for a late drink in the Royal. This was at 8 o'clock.
Nice. Oh, God, the Royal. Was that bar mobbed as well, I take it? Is that where you're heading?
Yeah, that bar was mobbed. We tried there. It was also full of youths.
You pesky kids and you're drinking.
You youths and your Smirnoff ices.
Ugh. Anyway, usually we like to do Giorgio Boyles and the Royals, and usually we like to do Saint stories. This week is a bit of both, so we're combining the two, just like when
Cocoa Pops and milk combine to give you the chocolatey, milky goodness.
Remember Banana Bubbles from the 90s?
No?
Banana Bubbles, the cereal that thinks it's a milkshake. It was kind of like Rice Gulls, but banana flavoured, and it made a banana milkshake. Kind of milk.
That's pretty good, that.
You like the 90s as well?
Oh, we do like the 90s, mate.
I thought you remembered that, but anyway. Right, Banana Bubbles, let's get back.
Cocoa Pops loyal, mate.
Yeah, I like Cocoa Pops.
Do you remember that Cocoa Pops advert? Right. Where where they were like playing a football game and they came back from 31-0 down at half time. That was pretty good. Or then I was reminded this week of the greatest advert of all time, the Sugar Puffs advert, when the Honey Monster came on and played for Newcastle at Wembley. That was the most unrealistic thing about it, that Newcastle were playing at Wembley.
Exactly.
Anyway, Keegan's manager, Honey Monsters come on, bang, last minute, cracking diving header, got on the end of a David Ginola cross, bang, right in the bottom corner. He's come off, cool as a cucumber, because Keegan's giving it all the bigging, and the Honey Monster goes, "That's football, Kev."
I don't remember that, but your knowledge of obscure 90s adverts started with Peter Schmeichel with dancing Danish men talking about bacon, and
They back know what people want. There's no better bacon.
There is no better bacon. So we're Giorgio Boyle and the Royal this week.
Right. We've got a feature here.
We do.
So we've got a Giorgio Boyle It's Saint story, sort of hybrid.
So if you've never listened to the podcast before, welcome. And our George and O'Boyle feature is, if you've ever seen a St Johnstone player in a random location, which isn't McDermott or playing football, let us know. We've had some great features. Oh, a follow-up from last week, Dan. We said that somebody's seen Jim Weir in Blockbuster. Apparently it was Broughty Ferry, 1998, and he was renting Die Hard.
I mean, that's a great level of detail. And I've got so much more respect for the man. I mean, you can ignore the Broughty Ferry thing. That's very close to Dundee. Fuck that. Anyway, but 1998, the 90s, great time.
Great.
Die Hard.
Good film.
Good film.
We're not going through the Christmas film debate.
Oh, no. It's May, mate.
It is. Coventry might have that on one of their podcasts. But that was sent in from Neil Tilston, who sent in the original story. I never gave him the name check last week, but that's all the details regarding Jim Weir's spot. So, George O'Boyle and the Royal.
Hi, this is coming from Jim Eccleston. He's been one of our regular listeners from the start. Lovely fella. Jim, what are you doing, mate? This starts with seeing Roddy Grant in a football stadium.
We have to veto that right away.
But he says, bear with me.
Oh.
So there may be more here.
He has me intrigued.
So it's come from the 90s. Well done, Jim. You've got us back on side already.
You've got us hooked.
And it was actually Italian 90.
Lovely.
Pavarotti, Ancelotti in midfield, all of them. Anyway, I should point out I was 6 months old at the time of Italian 90, so even I can't try and get nostalgic about that. So Jim says, for context, it had come at the end of Saints' first season at McDermott and won the first division, and there was that game against Airdrie.
What one was that? I'm only joking. I know that game.
I was trying to think of where we could think of any other game against Airdrie that season. Anyway, so back to Italy, and Jim was one of the many Scots that made their way over for the games against Costa Rica, in which he's described as Sweden, and Brazil, ouch.
Yeah, Costa Rica was the nasty one. That was a 1-0 defeat. We beat Sweden 2-1 and lost to Brazil. But anyway, George O'Boyle and the Royal.
Lost to Brazil thanks to a goal by a guy called Muller. I doubt that ever happened. What kind of Brazilian's called Muller?
A German one.
He was ruthlessly efficient at doing keep-ups. Anyway. So,
George O'Boyle and the Royal.
George O'Boyle and the Royal. So Jim's been out there and he said in the final game, the Brazil game, where Tam Muller scored for Brazil apparently, or Gerd, one or the other. So the Stadio dell'Alpi in Turin, Juventus' old ground, and it's in the pouring rain against Brazil, that Jim says he had, this is a direct quote, had a Saints moment which was almost sexual in its wonderfulness. He suddenly realised that in a crowd of 70,000 plus people, there was someone in the row directly in front of me who looked uncannily like Roddy Grant.
Nice. If it's not, this is a terrible story. Or
as Mark Guidi described him, Saints Associate Director Roddy Grant. That's how everyone knows him. Anyway.
Lotto agent Roddy Grant.
So anyway, he's turned around. Roddy, this is, has turned around and was looking out aimlessly. And then Jim realised that it was indeed the man himself.
Lovely.
He suddenly spotted my blue and white Saints bonnet top. Jim was ridiculed by the Tartan Army fort.
It's still down as one of the worst sponsors in football in history, having Boner written on the front of the top.
I mean, yeah, nobody's gonna call it Bonner Hardy when there's the opportunity for some sort of blue comedy.
A bit of blue.
Like at Dundee Uni, there's a building there called the Bonner Hall, which is like basically where we used to do exams and stuff. Bonner. Nobody ever called it the Bonner Hall, did they?
No, of course he didn't. Anyway, George O'Boyle and the Royal.
Bunch of students thinking they're funny. Anyway, so you know what's happened next?
Go on.
Upon clocking the Boner shirt.
I don't. You ignored him?
No. Roddy's turned around and given him a big hug.
Yes, as you would expect. What a man.
This could also fit into wholesome content corner because huggles are very wholesome.
Huggles are wholesome. This is a 3-in-1 extravaganza this week. O'Boyle and the Royal, Saint story and wholesome content all in the one tail.
I like a huggle. Do you like a huggle?
I don't like the use of the word huggle. I think it's a bit creepy.
Huggle's daft, man. Anyway, So
My wife's looking at me and she just said huggle puggle, which is even creepier.
Anyway, so Roddy was well pissed. Jim was chuffed, but there was a magical Saints moment where we celebrated that promotion and that Airdrie spanking with much glee. Fair to say, Jim goes on to say, fair to say that I treasure that moment and remember it much more clearly than any details from that god-awful Brazil-Scotland match, other than poor Murdo McLeod getting knocked out by the free kick. Great football trip, though. Cheers, Jim. Jim, cheers to you, mate, because that was a very, very good story / old boil / wholesome content corner inductee.
Brilliant. Can't argue with that. It was a great story and well worth being interrupted 14 times. Well done, Jim. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks again, Jim.
So your story doesn't need to be a weird tribrid of Saint stories, wholesome content, and Georgia Boyle and Royal. If you've seen a St Johnstone player anywhere doing anything at all, let us know. Dan?
You know what to do by now. You know the script. You know the game. Saints players, where have you seen them? What have you been doing? We want to know that. We want to know. You let us know. All the usual social streams. I'm going to give you a few examples here. Now, have you ever seen 90s mainstay Stevie Tosh having a fine time on a Norfolk narrowboat excursion? Could have happened.
Could have.
Who wouldn't want that?
Exactly.
If you've seen it, you let us know. All the usual social streams. Or we'll bring it a little bit more modern. Another Saints Challenge Cup finalist, Rocco Quinn. Have you ever seen Rocco down at the deed poll office trying to change his name? Would have happened. I'd be doing it. That was just mean from me, if anything. You let us know. All the usual social streams.
I had a dog called Rocco.
Did you?
Yeah. But there we go. If you've seen any of these things, let us know. Do you know what else is wholesome?
What else is wholesome, Sam?
Scandinavians are wholesome.
Oh, they are very wholesome people.
Do you want to go to a Scandinavian country?
Where are we thinking? Sweden? Norway?
I'm thinking Finland. And this is where I'd usually install a tune, but I don't know any Finnish songs.
Sam, I have a Finnish song for you.
Go on.
No, shit. I tell you we're from Finland. I was just going to start singing some ode to Finland there. You know we're from Finland? Lordi. Hard Rock Hallelujah.
Nice. I just Googled it there, and the Rasmus were from Finland.
Oh, they were shit.
They were shit.
And I was an aficionado of emo music, apparently.
And you are?
I'm still are, apparently.
Right, here we go. We're off to Finland. Wow, Lordy were terrible, eh?
Lordy were terrible.
I was thinking
They were terrible and terrifying.
But anyway, we're in Finland. Who are we here to see, you may ask?
Well, we are here to see former St Johnstone, Cardiff City, and Aston Villa goalkeeper Peter Enkelman.
In the week of goalkeepers being in the headlines for St Johnstone a lot, I thought we'd probably touch on one of our more famous goalkeepers we've had in our time. He was known for a few things, unfortunately. Not all good.
No, and he just happened to be one of them goalkeepers. Actually, just one of them footballers. Peter Enkelman was quite a talented goalkeeper.
Yeah.
He had a hell of a lot of ability. He also had a hell of a lot of absolutely catastrophic clangers in his back catalogue.
One of them, which you may remember, was this.
Oh, Enkelman's let it through. And that is an extraordinary goal. You will not see a more bizarre one than that. There must have been contact from the throw. No complaint from the goalkeeper. Just total agony.
So, yeah, I don't know if that would have been given this day and age with VAR, because he said he never touched the ball. You can't score direct from a throw-in. Olaf Melberg throws it back. The ref says it scuffs the bottom of his studs. Goal given.
Yeah, I think the ref conveniently sort of decided that it scuffed the bottom of his studs, because it was I remember that game, and it was the first second City derby for a long time. I mean, probably talking about 20 years. So the place was at fever pitch, and I generally think the officials might have just forgotten that the ball has to touch your foot, or they didn't want to rule it. But It might have touched his stud. I don't think anyone will ever know. It was an unfortunate one in some respects because the cautious thing to do would have been to just say, no, it didn't.
But he was praised after that, though, because I remember a fan ran on the pitch and just basically gave him a big middle finger right to his face, and he did not flinch.
Just didn't flinch. Yeah, I think most people would have melted him. But I don't think what we can overlook with the whole thing, how unlucky he might have been and how unsavoury it was when the fan came on the pitch. It was a real fuck-up.
But I remember the first day he signed for Saints, he played as a trialist against, I think it might have been Real Valladolid, East Fife randomly, kept the clean sheet, and his first game was against Hearts. And I was there, I was in the ground ridiculously early for what reason. The players were warming up, and I'm thinking, that looks like Peter Enkelman. That is Peter Enkelman. And I was like, wow, that's quite a big star name, because obviously he was well known, but he was well known.
He was, when he was a young goalkeeper at Villa, because he actually started at TPS Turku over in Finland. He signed for Villa, but he was a young man. And Villa also had part-time goalkeeper, part-time musician, and part-time bacon ambassador, Peter Schmeichel. He'd gone there for a year. And I always remember Graham Taylor, God bless him, was manager. And
he sold Schmeichel to Man City, did he not?
He went. Schmeichel's always tried to cover his back on that one. But it was, I think what, I always remember Taylor saying in an interview, I think he dropped Schmeichel and said, well, it don't matter because we've got Peter Enkelman. So he was well thought. He had it, but he had...
He was with Saints a couple of seasons. We'll touch on a couple of the points. I think we brought this up with Chris Miller, which was the League Scottish Cup semi-final against Motherwell, where he had a fucking shit show, and we were 3 down within 25 minutes. Flapped at one, lobbed from 30 yards for another, well at his ball. It was just, Chris Miller said he was nervous before the match. That wasn't a good one, but a lot of people will forget that when we won at Celtic Park, when Nick Dazovic scored in 1998, we loved the 90s.
Oh, I do love the 90s.
We didn't win again until 2011, and Dave Mackay scored the only goal of the game at Celtic Park. So we had to wait another 11 years, and Peter Enkelman saved a penalty in that match.
You know what? I think we're not sports psychologists or anything like that. We're two numpties that do a podcast. But I think the more you look back on it, you can actually feel a little bit sorry for Peter Enkelman sort of throughout his career, because it was always on big occasions. It was always in big games. And that probably suggests that it might have been something between the ears.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because that is a lot more difficult to eradicate than just being a bit shit. If you're technically deficient, you can work on it.
That's always a problem coming back from something like that. It's a shame that a player can be remembered for a negative bit of play. Chris Ewelemu, nobody thinks he won the Scottish Cup at St Johnstone. No, it's the howler against Norway for Scotland. That's the first thing you go to when you think of a player like that. He was lucky enough that was near the end of his career. Yeah, and everyone always forgets about Chris Ewelemu. He got in that Scotland side because he was basically single-handedly firing Wolves to promotion that year. So it was, it's a sad way things go. And I think with Peter Enkelman, again, you probably go back to the point that, all right, he got plastered all around the telly and the papers, some of the mistakes and some of the bad games he had. It wasn't really social media then, either the incident at St Andrews, Birmingham City's ground, or the semi-final. So, look, he was a good goalkeeper. He was a talented goalkeeper. I thought he was pretty competent at the time he was with the club, but again, one of these players that just a confidence player that didn't have any confidence. I tell you what, if you're a winger or a centre forward and you're a confidence player, you can sort of get away with it. You can contribute in other ways when your confidence is down. If you're a goalkeeper who's a confidence player, you've no hiding place. Pretty fucked, eh? But anyway, that was our trip to Finland this week. We got to listen to Lordy. We got to talk about goalkeeping clangers. Peter Enkelman, thanks for joining the club. That was our trip to Scandinavia this week. It was a lot of capers. It was a lot of capers. But if you want us to highlight any other player, just let us know. We'll do our best to find some local music from that area. That's the most important part of this feature, I feel. We've been to the Royal. We've been to Finland. Yeah. And now I'm just going to nip into this little shop here, take a little pen out, write down some digits from the catalogue, take my little paper to the till, pay for my item, which I haven't seen or received yet, go up to the counter, wait for it to come down the little conveyor belt, get my item, get it home, turn it as broke. I'm just discussing Argos here. It's the club shop of shame.
How good was that little conveyor belt thing in Argos?
I would always wanted to see what was up the stairs, what was going on up there.
Only a couple of lads having a crafty fag.
Yeah, I wonder how many
Just
times
firing stuff down.
That's it, anything. But I miss Argos. Bring it back.
Good. Anyway, right. Oh my God.
Jeez, Club Shop of Shame this week. Right. There's been a lot of talk which we've not mentioned thus far, which we've done our best to kind of avoid with the European Super League stuff. We don't really care.
There's a vested interest in it, but overall, it was... I miss it. It was very funny. It was a very funny few days looking back.
It was indeed.
And I eagerly await the next time they try it.
So what we've thought we'll do, Dan, is we'll cover the dirty half dozen, I think they were known as. So we're going to cover products. We've already covered Man United and Liverpool. We've covered Liverpool a couple of times with the Anfield shirt and the terrible clock.
Done a lot of shit. That's why.
They really have. Man United didn't get away with it either. They had their Chinese New Year training vest. But we're going to go to London, mate.
London. We're going to go to North London.
Is that Jamaica? Wow.
I don't know.
I
have no idea.
As an Englishman, I thought you could have done a better Cockney accent.
You ever heard my Glasgow accent?
Oh, dear God, no. Go for it.
Oh, look. Who's know what's going to happen in football, Gary? Our supporters will be talking about that for years. Our players will be talking about that for years. That's what football's all about, Gary.
So the Club Shop of Shame this week is in London. And you sound a bit like Graham Souness.
It was meant to be Alex Ferguson.
Ah. That was a bit more. I sounded like somebody that's lived in England for a long time, but was originally Scottish. Did you hear Duncan Ferguson, like with his really weird scouse?
Aye,
that was odd.
Yeah,
you stick in, mate. You're like, what the hell's that?
He's just bizarre. Anyway, he's a bizarre man, though.
Anyway,
and I would not say that to his face.
Hardest man in sport. Imagine the guy who tried to rob his house. What an idiot!
Spent 3 weeks in intensive care. Anyway, he did. Maybe not intensive care. He was in the hospital.
So we're going to London. We're going to do the two North London teams.
We're going to do the two North London teams. And we're going to go to the most bizarre of all the 15 clubs to sign up for the Super League, Tottenham.
Absolutely no reason they should be in there, apart from they've got a nice big stadium.
Tottenham are always good for a laugh, so we'll go there. They sacked the manager the week of a cup final and put a child in charge. So speaking of that cup final, right. Now Tottenham and they are a big football club. They've got a huge fan base, big history behind them, but they don't win anything.
No.
The last thing they won was the League Cup in 2008. And, all right, they made the Champions League final a couple of years ago, but they've obviously got giddy down at the lane because, right, this isn't actually on the face of it that tin pot, but it's the context. So Tottenham bought out a range of Carabao Cup finalist merchandise.
You would think nothing wrong with that, but certainly not the antics of a European Super League team.
Yes, this is the point. In the context of a club that's trying to claim that they're one of the superpowers of European football, you made the Coca-Cola Cup final and you're releasing mugs and key rings and fridge magnets and everything. Incredible. The only thing I will say about it is they were reasonably priced because they probably realised how shit they were, or how pony it was. So, yeah, absolutely just bizarre behaviour. So, yeah, if you're a Tottenham fan and you want to drink your tea or coffee in the morning out of a Carabao Cup finalist 2020-21, a final in which you didn't get given a kick for 90 minutes, yeah, it can be yours for £8. Or if you want to be reminded of your abject mediocrity every time you go to get the milk out of the fridge to make that cup of tea, why not have a magnet? Or when you get in your car, and because you support Tottenham, your car that inevitably won't start because you have no fucking luck in life, and you want to be reminded of your club's abject mediocrity, keyring. Be reminded of what a farce your football club is. Every damn turn you make. I'm actually all right with it because it's a very scattergun approach, and you don't know at least to keeping you on your toes. You don't know where you're going to come from next. First thing, go and fuck yourselves, Brighton and Hove Albion. We're ditching you, babies. You can't.
Burnley? Get yourself to fuck Burnley.
Burnley? No. You take your stupid gimp off I'm a Celebrity and you go swivel. We're going Madrid, bitches.
Who else is going to Madrid?
And then you're releasing key rings for making a final.
There you go. Nonsense. But did Arsenal do any better?
Define better. Better for the purposes of this, which is worse, or better in general, which is worse for the purposes of this.
I'll reword that. Is it shit?
Really, really shit.
Brilliant.
Oh, we have got some steaming shit coming your way now. Tottenham's was just a bit tin pot. This is genuinely steaming. Right.
Picture the scene for me.
Picture the scene. You're a man.
Yes, I am.
You want to look like, and you want to go out of the house looking like an arsehole. Right. Ugg boots. we all know Ugg boots been around for a long time. I mean, they were very sort of mid-2000s or whatever. So these are Arsenal men's Australian merino wool boots. So basically, Sam, I've got to tell you what these are. These are some sort of jabroni version of Ugg boots. They're not even real Uggs.
They're all right. They're just their attempt at them.
Jabroni version of Ugg boots. I'm not being funny. If you do want to go down this road, you can probably get them for about 15 quid in Primark. And then
Shoes on. They're big on them.
Yes. I got a pair of Wellington boots from Shooting Salt, and then I had to go out on a site visit into some forest. And there was a reason they would cost me about 8 quid because I ended up with some big thorns stuck in my foot.
How is Shoes on not collapsed?
Them school pump things that you wear for PE.
Oh, yeah.
It's a gold mine. The Big Dave Shoes On, the founder of Shoes On.
Big Dave,
right?
Davey Shoes On.
Big Dave Shoes On, right? He's sat there drinking his Moet Chandon, smoking his Henri Winterman cigars, all on the back of all these kids that have got shin splints from running around the fucking
and Plimsoll
school assembly hall. Anyway, and they still look better than anybody wears these Arsenal men's Australian merino wool boots. I'm trying to work out whether it's a badge or whether it's just an imprint.
What is
a cannon?
Oh, the cannons on them. Jesus.
You know the Arsenal, actually like the old Arsenal badge.
Yeah,
on the shirts. It's like it was just a cannon. So it's got that on it. But if you're wearing them right, nobody will ever see that. It's another flaw in the plan. However, Sam, this is actually one of the more scientific parts of the show because we did a litmus test.
We did.
And there are numerous litmus tests of what makes this shit merch. So the fact that they are just a bit pony, that's one of them. The fact that they're a bit pointless, as we've just discussed with a badge. You know, the fact that they're pointless in connection to football or your football club passes that test because they are absolutely pointless. But the biggie, VFM, value for money. Bang for your buck, if you will.
Are we talking?
How much do you reckon these are?
I'm going to guess somewhere between a 2017 Charlton Athletic calendar and a Liverpool heritage clock.
Yeah, well, you're not wrong.
Thank you very much. I'll take it.
So presently, if you support Arsenal and want to look like a twat, you can presently get these on offer for 80 quid.
On offer for 80?
On offer for 80 quid. Full price, 100 notes. 100 sovereigns for a jabroni, snidey pair of Ugg boots.
Some hooky Uggs.
Hooky Ugg boots with a cannon on them. Absolute capers. I've come full circle on this because I actually admire the sort of hustle of Arsenal in doing this.
80 quid?
80 quid. I mean, that's just... Forget the fact they haven't won a league title since 2004. That's why they shouldn't have been admitted to the Super League. The mind boggles.
The mind does boggle, but we've managed to cover some tin pot mugs and a pair of men's Australian merino wool boots. Did I get that right?
Yeah. And if anyone's going to know anything about tin pot mugs,
we are Perth and Ross's most tin pot mug distributor, I would say.
Correct.
What a trip to North London that was. And next week we will cover... Who we cover next week? Chelsea?
Yeah, we'll do Chelsea. Who are the other mugs that's at? Oh, we'll go for the... We'll go for the Nouveau Rich next week. We'll go for Chelsea and the Magoo. Why not?
But if you have seen any other ones, in the meantime, Dan?
Sam, it could be a whole world of stuff out there, mate. Listeners, it's up to you. You keep an eye out. You see what you can find. For example, have you ever seen a Livingston Football Club guide to town planning? I don't think they have. But if they do, Hugo Boss for everyone. It could be out there. If you find it, you let us know. All the social streams. But
give the people what they want, Dan. Just say the line.
Get there.
Yay! Another Simpsons reference. How many can we get in one bloody show? Got a big match on Sunday.
We do have a big match on Sunday. A very, very big match.
Another trip to Hampden.
Another trip to Hampden. It's, unfortunately, as we always say, it's another trip to an empty Hampden. But first things first, and a very, very, I think, a very tough match coming up.
I'm the only one that's confident. Nobody wants to say their favourites for the Cup. Hibs fans don't want to say their favourites or be called favourites. Saints fans, I'm the only person that says Saints will win this Cup.
I like your ballsy attitude, pal.
Saints, flag on the mast, balls on the table, St Johnstone will win the Scottish Cup.
I'm not saying anything. You're on your own on that one.
You don't say anything.
That's your cross to bear.
You're wrong almost every week, so it'd be best if you didn't say anything, I feel.
Yeah, good. I agree. Sam, I'm wrong. I tend to be wrong in some way or another every time I open my mouth. Not just in this podcast, just in life.
Just in general. We don't know what the team will be. 7 guys came in. Most of them have probably got a chance to... I think Liam Craig will probably come in if he was rested.
Yeah, I think the ones you got to look at, the ones we could probably say for sure, Rooney will come back in.
The back 5, the 5 defenders are pick themselves.
5 defenders pick themselves. If Xander's fit, I can't even bring myself to say it, Ell Paz will drop out. Xander did caper about from a corner. So who's to say? Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Xander, if he's fit, I think Liam Craig will come back in.
McCann will play.
Spoonie will play somewhere, whether he's out on the left or whether he's a bit more central, we'll find out. I think he'll go 2 up top.
Which means it'll be May by himself.
Yeah, pretty much. I think he'll go 2 up top. I think he'll go, mind you, there's got to be a temptation there to get Glenn Middleton into the side.
That's what I think. I think Middleton might play.
He's really good. I'm a big fan.
Can he play? Is he cup tied? No, I think he played against Dundee or Clyde. I think he played.
He did. He definitely played against Dundee. He just didn't play against Rangers because his parent club.
That's fine. So he can play.
No, this is because I said he could come into contention for the League Cup final.
Make a late charge for it,
he's been cup tied. Right. He's been cup tied since like the first week. But yeah, there's options. And as I always say, Callum knows best. He'll get the team right. I do think the majority of that team, it picks itself. I think 9 out of 11 players pretty much pick themselves.
Yeah.
Barring any injuries. Murray, it's maybe a little bit too soon for him, but he's an option and he'll be on the bench.
Do you think we'll release another cup final top if we beat St Mirren?
No, I'm not talking about final. I'm not talking about Saints in the final because I'm going to talk at length about the final in a minute. But I'm not talking about Saints in the final yet.
What do you think the score will be?
I think Saints will win 2-0, which would put us in the final.
Sorry.
No, honestly, Saints against, St Johnstone against St Mirren, I'm making St Johnstone favourites. Because I think we're a slightly better side than them. I think the form we're in makes us a way better side than them.
Mm-hmm.
And we're shown on so many occasions this season. Big game. They hold the nerve.
Yep.
Doesn't bother them.
They're pretty fearless, eh?
In fact, the bigger the occasion, the more they seem to like it. So, I think it'll be a tactical game. I think what we all say about Goodwin, best young manager in the country and all that, sort of taking a piss. But he's done a really good job there. Calm's done a really good job for us. And I'm actually expecting a fairly half-decent game of football. I think we'll come out on top.
It's just a shame we can't be there in the final. As we listened earlier on with the Elliot Parish interview, he would have a blooming Dumbarton if it meant fans could get in. So the whole nonsense about taking it away from the big day. You're quite opinionated on this one.
Obviously, a lot of people have seen it. An article, Keith Jackson in the Record. And basically, someone from the SFA said there'll be no fans. I think it was it's been widely known for a few weeks now that if the final's going to be at Hampden, there won't be any fans there. It's in UEFA's hands. You'd surely have thought that they'd have then looked at alternatives. I'm reading the article, and if this had been someone coming out and saying on safety grounds, I don't know, Jason Leach, whoever, coming out and saying on safety grounds, it's got to be behind closed doors, fine. I maybe wouldn't agree with him, but I'd take it. So the SFA have come out and said, or it said in this article, they said it's not a financially viable decision to move the game somewhere else. What a kick in the nutside. They're so mean-spirited. We've been out of the ground for, way over a year now. You got 4 teams, and I'm not just saying this because it's Saints in there. The Saints might not make it. There's 4 teams, though, who've got fans who'd be wanting to go. And look, not everyone would be able to go. We know it'd be very limited numbers. But, fuck me. But you can apply to be a test event and get funding for that. And I think you can get up to 6,000 then, depending on the size of the ground. But we'll just play it in empty Hampden. Absolute bollocks. It's really wound me up.
This has been great. I can just sit and chill out and listen to this.
So there's options there. But they've just chosen not to do it.
Yeah.
That's the frustrating thing. It's campaigning season at the minute anyway. Yeah. But I've seen a few others following suit. Hopefully, there's not much time, but there might just be a little bit of time, maybe for a change of heart. I don't know. But it was very disappointing. Play it behind closed doors at Hampden because it's fucking cheaper. Brilliant. Well done. Dicks.
Jeez, we're here to bring the good times in the Dogger Saints podcast, Dan. That's not how we like to end things here.
No, it's not. And I regret it deeply. Well, I don't, because I thought it was it's just bollocks, isn't it? Anyway. We have got a little bit more. We've got our usual announcement segment.
Go on. Give us a good announcement, Dan.
Well, this is a good announcement. Now, we mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. And superstar groundsman Jordan Thompson, Jordan and Josh, who are both involved with Club Jordan, so on the ground staff, and Josh does work for Saints in the community. We mentioned a couple of weeks ago, we give them a bit of a shout out because they've been doing the kilt walk, did 30 miles each. So last weekend, I think it was last Friday, the pair of them managed to get through 30 miles each. That'll be 60 miles. And that was McDermott to Hampden. So very, very well done to the pair of them.
Yeah, good job.
Really good job. It was bloody boiling that day, I remember as well. So we just got an update from Jordan. So they've raised £1,200 for the kilt walk already.
Brilliant.
Aye, absolutely brilliant.
There you go.
No, so Just Giving page, which I gave you a couple of weeks ago, it's still going. It's still open for anyone who wants to make a late contribution, but very, very well done. £1,200. That's a fantastic bit of fundraising from the boys. And yeah, fair play to them.
Well done to them, guys. More good news. The Nick Dazovic Hall of Fame campaign still rolls on. Now, if you've not managed to sign it yet, you can go on to any of our social channels and there'll be a link to take you to that. Alternatively, you can go to avaz.org. That's AVAAZ. I think that was justified, wasn't it?
AAZ. If you can't spell it, Miller will instead.
There you go. avaz.org. Go into there, hit the search bar and type in Nick Dazovic, and that'll take you to the campaign for you to sign. That'd be great. We want to wrap this up and get this off to the club. Pretty sharpish.
Yeah, absolutely. As we said all along, we wouldn't be bothering doing this campaign if there wasn't such significant feelings from the people we spoke to about it. And yeah, I mean, he's just such a tremendous guy. It'd be lovely to do something nice like that. And a good throwback to the 90s, Sam.
Oh, I love the 90s. Also, we are running a competition on our Facebook page at the moment to win a £10 Lotto gift card. The question on that is, who are we currently sponsoring at the moment? Should be pretty easy after today's episode, I would say.
If you don't get it after today's episode. But yeah, so what we're going to do, as many people involved as possible, and then we'll be doing a prize draw.
We are indeed, and we might even get the man himself to announce the winner, but we'll need to clear that with him first, obviously. But go to our Facebook.
We've not spoken to him about this yet.
Nah, he'll be good for it. So go to our Facebook page, like the page, send us a private message of the answer, and then you'll be put into the hat. And our very last announcement is, the fine people at Horse Cross have been in touch to tell us about their team talks that they've been doing with local celebrities. They've had people like Stuart Cosgrove, Colin McCready on so far, where you can listen to and hear about their stories for the past. The last two is Jim McIntosh, the club poet, and Eve Muirhead, who are coming up. Both of them are actually sold out, which is great. But the team at Horse Cross are also working with young carers and care homes too. So we can hear their stories about St Johnstone as well. If you've got a story about St Johnstone, please send it to saintsfc@horsecross.co.uk. That's saintsfc@horsecross.co.uk. And the deadline for that is the 17th of May. So if you have any Saint stories, send it to them and get involved with that as well.
Yeah, fantastic. And what I said to do for care homes and young carers, because what an absolute time of it they've had. I think we've had it tough. What a time of it they've had over the past sort of however long it's been now, about decade. So, yeah, absolutely tremendous initiative. So, yeah, if you've got something to contribute, get involved.
Exactly right. And that's us at the end of another episode, Dan.
It is. We are there. We made it. In the immortal words of Barry Manilow, looks like we made it.
Looks like we made it.
Left each other on the way to another love. By the way, I've been meaning to pull you up on something since about the middle of this show. Who did we play against in that trial match Peter Enkelman played?
Real Valladolid.
Real Valladolid.
All right.
Real Valladolid.
All right, what's that guy called?
Ian Ballagher.
Yeah.
What luxurious settings for them as well. Broadwood. No, it's not Broadwood, is it?
New Bayview.
New Bayview, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, so and another barrel of laughs until I went on a rant about the SFA.
I was all fine until then, but a First Dogger Saints exclusive.
First Dogger Saints exclusive. What a guest as well.
Lovely guy. Brilliant again. We'll be back for potentially our penultimate episode of the season. Maybe not. Depends how we get on.
Yeah. Hopefully it's not the penultimate episode of the season. But as it stands, the fixtures remaining, it will be the penultimate one. But hopefully not.
Indeed. Well, we'll see how we get on. But we have to thank Ross and Terry again from WeGo Minibus and Coach Hire for kindly sponsoring the show this week. If you're thinking about an away trip when football gets up and running, you've got gigs booked for December because there's loads of them announced, give them a call. Make your trip easier. They can wait at the venue, get you to and from your gigs. Wedding coming up, you're planning a wedding and you need to shuttle people to your venue for the evening guests. Give them a call. They cater for all occasions.
Can't speak highly enough of them, Sam. So as I say, anything you think we might need some transportation for that, get on to Ross and Terry and the gang, and they'll sort you out. No worries, no problem. I'm just they're gonna be on at me for because people are gonna be asking to take them to the shops.
He's actually they've taken us to the airport a couple of times, and it's easy. They just drop you straight off at the terminal, unload your bags, you go straight in, and they're there to collect you as well. Easy peasy. No paying extortionate money for car parking and then walking and dragging and anything like that. They'll pick you up and take you to where you need to go.
And hopefully that'll be something we need sooner rather than later.
And as a keen golfer as well, Dan, that's another thing to do is golf excursions as well. So if you are going away day golfing,
Nearly chucked my clubs into the Tay yesterday, so let's not mention the G word.
And we'll move on. Thanks to WeGo. Thanks to you for listening. We'll see you next week, hopefully in a Scottish Cup final.
Don't mention it.
Sorry. Bye-bye.
Bye.